What's going on, DZ Team? It's Z here. Welcome back to another video. Now, I know it's been a minute, but we're just going to dive right into it. I'm going to give you a few tips that I'm starting to do now, as in being in the private security industry, doing bodyguard tactics, and kind of learning things around that. So we're just going to jump right into it. Let's go. All right, guys, enough chit chat. Let's get into this video. Right. So first things first, appendix holsters. So this one is from Firearms. It is a sidecar. It is a fixed mag holster, right? The tip I have for starting carrying new gear, like this is my new gear. To be honest with you guys, I was carrying outside the waistband and or inside on my, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in this general area, depending on where I was sitting and what I was doing to maneuver. This is fixed. Some of these have bungees to be able to move. T-Rex Arms does this, and it says it on their website because you get a more consistent draw being in the same spot as far as the bungees can shift. The issue with that is that these don't have flex in it. So you can't, if you're sitting down and you hunch over or whatever, they don't really flex. They'll bend over. So as your stomach comes over, it'll bend over, but they won't flex. So what this comes down to is wear your new gear around the house. If you're not doing anything all day, or if you're going out, wear it around. This is a full size 17, by the way. I'm a short guy, and I carry this around. Nobody really notices it. If I'm wearing slimmer shirts, you'll notice it a little bit more, how the handle kind of sticks out. It bulks out a little bit because it's not the thinnest, right? Full size 17. But my advice to you on my tip is to wear new gear around the house. Get used to it. Plate carriers, helmets, whatever the case may be. Start wearing it around. Get used to it. Get comfortable with it. Because if you're buying it, you intend on using it, you want to be used to it, even when you're not at the range. Better, wear your gear and get more time using it at the house than on the range where you have to spend ammo and take the time to go out there and pack everything and then, all that good stuff. So wear new gear around the house. Now, tip number 2, start shooting one-handed about 50% of the time at the range. Why is that? If you're a concealed carry holster and that's your primary time of carrying a firearm, and you're not a law enforcement, or maybe even if you are law enforcement or military, right? This applies to all fields, but I say military and law enforcement because they carry rifles as well, and then other gear. So concealed carry, right? Carrying a pistol, shooting one-handed 50% of the time on the range. We do it because if you're shooting with somebody else, right, and you have somebody else with you, or even if you're not, if someone's engaging you, the first thing you're gonna do is probably run, but, oh crap, and then run. That it's just instinct, right? You're gonna go like this, and then you need to move because they're already in the action, if not already shooting at you. So your first thing to do is move. Second thing you're probably gonna do is draw, right? And if it's an open area, you can shoot freely, generally at them if it's an open environment. If not, you're still gonna draw and kind of present and get one-handed. Then you can get a two-handed grip when you're behind cover and begin to engage. Sometimes when you're shooting with somebody else, this is coming from the private security industry, you have somebody with you, either somewhere in front of you, behind you, to the side of you. You need to get them out of the way. And there's 2 ways that you can do that, coming from an executive protection standpoint. So bodyguarding. First things first, or one step, right, is to completely cover whoever you're with. Now, if you have more than one person, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to do that, but it's still possible. Somebody was coming at me and they had on my side or wherever they were, and I saw them, I would immediately cover that person and use my body essentially as a meat shield. Now, there is a lot of liability in that. It takes you out of the fight if you get hit, but you're saving your VIP, right? We're talking executive protection here. We're saving somebody else that has no chance of fighting, right? Even though it may take me out of the fight, I'm covering them and running. Second thing, and then once you get to the cover, right, continuing on to the first thing, once you get to cover, you can be able to draw, present, make sure you're safe, make sure your other person is safe, and then draw and begin to engage if you want to do that, or completely evade and get the heck out of it. Number 2, you push them to the side with one arm, get them behind you, not doing the drills where you see this and kind of getting them behind you and then drawing, because you're still in the same line. You're just replacing them, and that's taking a lot more moving parts and a lot more time. And I'll get into that in another video in more detail when we actually go and hit the range and show you the different speeds, right? But what we're gonna do is grab them, the shirt, the belt line, anywhere around there, and begin to just shove them and move them in the direction we want to go while clearing our garment, drawing our handgun, and being able to engage one-handed, because you have your hand on somebody else. Now, keep in mind, what if you didn't do that? The odds are, if somebody is not prepared for it, wife, husband, kids, whatever, guess what? They're gonna be gone. Executive protection, VIPs, they're gonna be gone. Their instinct is to run and hide. You lose your VIP, you lose your spouse, you lose your kids. Now you don't know where they are in the fight, and they can be taking stray rounds. You don't know where to position yourself in a battlefield manner if they're behind you and you're directing the fire towards them because they took off and you didn't know where they went. So, start practicing one-arm tactics. I'll also get into drills in that, again, when we go and hit the range, and I explain that a little bit further and actually have demonstrations, right? Now, number 3, this is gonna be more towards approaching vehicles that maybe stop by your house or whatever the case may be. As you drive up front, I'm gonna elaborate on a video on this as well, but just to kind of give you a general idea, to give you some food for thought, to get those wheels turning. As you drive up, or as somebody drives up, you're in the driver's seat, whatever, there's two ways. There's 2 ways to do it. You can either go from behind, right, which also gives that person time to see you, to kind of flag them down, or approach from the front side, from the engine block side, 45 degrees going into them, or right in front. I prefer 45 because it has a little bit more obstruction, so if they were to present a firearm and try to shoot, they would need to get past their mirror, windshield, and steering wheel instead of having to just go straight over the steering wheel into the mirror. So start heading that way. We're gonna say this time we go in front of the engine block. Stand about, once you get to somebody to confront somebody, stand about, I don't know, depending on how close you need to get to actually identify a person, get a good amount of distance to where if they were presenting a firearm or if they quickly went to go grab something, because you can't see their hands most of the time if they're in a high-rise vehicle, be able to have enough time to duck down behind the engine block and run around if that is available to you. Now, if their vehicle is on, be in mind, if their car is not in park, they can still press the gas and run over you. Bad news bears. If they're in park and they're talking, their hands are off the wheel, whatever the case may be, then you're a little safe because they have to shift gears before that can happen. You have time to get out of the way. There's a lot of little variables here to do that, but start thinking about ways like that of approaching vehicles if you ever need to. Do you talk somebody, identify somebody's in a parking lot in your driveway, and you don't know who they are and they've been sitting there for a little too long? Start doing that. Wave them down, start keeping the eyes on them, look around while approaching them, make sure nobody else is there, and then see who they are and then be on their way. So those are my tips for you guys. Get the wheels turning. Hopefully this video was informational for you guys and I didn't bore you guys too much. I'm going to elaborate on these topics. These are just something that's on my mind that I wanted to get you guys prepared for, so when these videos come, you're not like, well, what is this coming from? But we've been super busy on DZ. We are still working on the website. Don't worry, that is coming for you guys. Our website is still, our apparel website is still up and running. So if you want to go get some DZ merch, let us know, or just go and get it, surprise us. We have a lot of new apparel designs and things like that. We have classes coming up, our website. Can't wait for you guys to see it. Online classes, private lessons, discounts on classes, first to see stuff. It's gonna be awesome, right? So I'll see you guys there, and if you want me to elaborate on anything, let me know down below. Leave a like, share with anybody you think that would benefit from it, and let's get these wheels turning. Let's start using our brains first. So see you guys in the next video.